Okay, today we're going to talk about quadratic transformations. So what that means is how we can look at the equation of the linear parent function and use that equation to help us figure out how the vertex is moving and how the parabola is being transformed. At this time, we're not looking at it's horizontal stretches and compressions. Okay, we're really only looking at vertical stretches and compressions. So we're going to start off by kind of breaking down what all the pieces of the vertex form mean. Okay, so this is, I believe there's one more term that goes in vertex form. Yes, there, but it doesn't look like when you look at our star chart, our formula chart, we don't use that. So, yay, I guess. So let's start by talking about what all these different pieces mean, okay? So A tells us a couple of things, okay? So the first thing that A tells us is it tells us that if A is positive, it says that my parabola opens up. So that means it's going to be opening, it's going to be like that, okay? If A is negative, then my parabola opens down, which means it's pointing that way, okay? So that's one of the first things that A tells me. The second thing that A tells me, the absolute value of A. So if the absolute value of A is greater than 1, then I have a vertical stretch. So that means it's like I'm taking my parabola and I'm stretching it like this. So it's going to get narrower and taller. So like everything's going to get tall and skinny. Just like if you take a picture, take a photograph, and you stretch it, like you don't stretch it on the corner, you stretch it like this. It's going to, if you stretch it out, everything gets real tall and real skinny looking. Okay, now if the absolute value of A is between 0 and 1, then we have a vertical compression. So like I'm taking it and I'm going like that. So it's going to get real short and real fat. Now, when we talk about absolute value, what we're talking about is how far away something is from 0 on the number line. Okay? So if I have a number line, I don't have any place to put it, but if I have a number line, if I say what is the absolute value of 7? Well, 7 is 7 hops away from the number line, from 0 on the number line. Negative 7 is also 7 hops away from 0 on the number line. So when I look at this, what this means is I don't care about the sign. I don't want to look at the sign, the integer sign on this number. Okay, so if it was negative 6, I would look at 6. 6 is a vertical stretch. If it was negative 0.5, I would look at 0.5. 0.5 is a vertical compression because 0.5 is between 0 and 1. Okay, so that's all the stuff that A tells me. Now, when I look down here, this x minus h squared part of my parabola, okay, this is the part where we have to remember that when we put our two parentheses together, they make an O, which stands for opposite. Okay, our two parentheses, they come together. They're side to side, so they're horizontal. They come together to make an O that means opposite. So whatever happens inside these parentheses is the opposite of what I think it is. Okay? So when I see a negative h, negative numbers go left on my number line. But since this is the opposite, what this really means is that my graph, well, I guess my vertex, let's be more specific. My vertex shifts right. Okay? Not left, it shifts right. Because even though this looks like negatives go left on the number line, whatever's happening inside here is the opposite of what I expect, so it's actually going right. Likewise, if I see x plus h squared, that means my vertex is shifting left. Now, just to be clear, whatever you see here, h is actually the opposite of that. But if I see x minus something squared, it's a right shift. If I see x plus something squared, it's a left shift. Okay? The last one that we have to look at here is k. So when I see a positive k, Okay, that's an H. Okay, when I see a positive K, okay, positive K means that we are vertically shifted up K units. And technically this means I'm vertically shifted right H units, okay? If I see minus K, I'm vertically shifted down K units. Okay? So when I see this, this tells me if I have a stretch or a compression vertically. It tells me if I have a vertical stretch or compression. If it's positive, it's pointing up. If it's negative, it's pointing down. This part here, this tells me which left or right how I'm shifting. Okay? So this is stretch, compress, and up, down. And then this is left, right, shift. This is up, down, shift. And this is up, down, open. Okay? So this tells me if I open up or down. It tells me if I'm stretching or compressing. This tells me if I'm shifting left or right. This tells me if I'm shifting up or down. And there is an F in that. Okay?